performing artist and television radio presenter and a university lecturer, Unilag. Keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Black, Africa's finest music comedian, and you're watching Souq News. If you're not watching Souq News, I pity you, but keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Timida Kolo and you're watching Souq News. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Wisdom Oluwaseun Okoko, co-founder Orbit Africa Properties. I'm live at Souq News. Guys, keep watching Souq News. For everything that concerns business, economy, politics, news, Souq News is your station.
Of Executive Director of RTA, Mataz Al-Tayyar, noted that the primary objective of the plan is to enhance traffic safety and security for all road users, including vehicles and pedestrians. The plan employs the latest smart and sustainable lighting technology, utilizing energy-efficient LED technology to achieve a 55%.
My name is Olatunji Shotimiri. I'm a performing artist and television radio presenter and a university lecturer, Unilag. Keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Black, Africa's finest music comedian, and you're watching Souq News. If you're not watching Souq News, I pity you, but keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Timida Kolo and you're watching Souq News. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Wisdom Oluwaseun Okoko, co-founder Orbit Africa Properties. I'm live at Souq News. Guys, keep watching Souq News. For everything that concerns business, economy, politics, news, Souq News is your station.
Julia Benite.
I'm Godio Didi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News. So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching.
Welcome back. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel and also follow us on all social media platforms at Souq News. Moving on in the news, in a bid to promote traffic awareness among bicycle users and the need to adhere to instructions, the Dubai's Federal Traffic Council has launched its inaugural Unified Traffic Campaign for 2024, focusing on the theme Safe Riding for Bicycle Users, aligned with the ministry's continuous commitment to cultivating responsible traffic culture among motorbike, electric and bicycle riders. The campaign aims to minimize wrongful behavior, uphold road users' rights and enhance overall safety standards. Chairman of the Federal Traffic Council, Brigadier Engineer Hussein Ahmed Al-Hariti, noted that the campaign, spanning the first quarter of 2024, involves collaboration with strategic partners, ministries, federal and local agencies, and various entities dedicated to traffic safety. In the Middle East, Somalia has firmly rejected an agreement between its breakaway region, Somaliland, and Ethiopia, which granted Ethiopia access to Red Sea via the major port of Berbera. Somalia, considering Somaliland part of its territory, declared the pact has no legal force and summoned its ambassador to Ethiopia for discussions on the matter. Somalia's President Hassan Sheikh Mohammed emphasized that no one had the authority to relinquish part of Somalia, labeling the agreement an interference with sovereignty. Ethiopia's offer of a stake in Ethiopia's airline to Somaliland in exchange for Red Sea access adds complexities to the situation, with officials from both nations yet to comment. Still in the Middle East, oil prices surged over 2% in the initial New Year session, driven by concerns of potential disruptions in Middle East supply following the recent attack on a container ship in the Red Sea and optimistic expectations for Chinese demand. Brent crude climbed by $1.58 to $78.62. We go on a quick break and return with the rest of the news. Stay with us.
My name is Olatunji Shoti. I'm a performing artist and, television radio presenter and a university lecturer, Unilag. Keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Black, Africa's finest music comedian, and you're watching Souq News. If you're not watching Souq News, I pity you, but keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Timidakolo and you're watching Souq News. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Wisdom Oluwaseun Okoko, co-founder Orbit Africa Properties. I'm live at Souq News. Guys, keep watching Souq News. For everything that concerns business, economy, politics, news, Souq News is your station.
Morning and welcome to Early Exchange with Blessing Aiche, Femi Ayodele, Sam Oruoje, and Idahosa Osamanze.
It's a national orientation agency. It's, as far as I'm concerned, very idle and unprofessional.
If government says that subsidy is not in oil and government is not supposed to be paying subsidy in oil,
energy or whatever kind of off-grid solution we will be looking at.
Today we are conducting mining today. Solid minerals, as an example, is, in no disrespect to anybody, is abysmal. We definitely need improvements in those areas. Of course, there are infrastructural needs.
This is Early Exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
All right, thank you, Adesua Rimsele, for updating us on current happenings around the globe. Very interesting news this morning, and we'll begin with some of the very interesting stories. But first, I need to introduce the gentlemen in the studio. You know them. You've seen them several times, but you haven't seen this version of them because it's a new day, and so the newest version of Idahosa Osamanze I unveil to you. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Blessing.
Great to have you this morning.
My pleasure here always.
They say don't ask how was your night, but you can ask how was your rest. So how was your rest?
Well, both night and rest, they're the same.
You know, in this part of the world, we're that caring, so we'd like to know. Good morning, Femi.
Good morning. How are you today?
I'm fine. I see you now have a memo you share together.
No, we have a secret camera. So
men talk to men and men understand.
Exactly. It's becoming men's word.
Don't worry. I will get a lady and bring her here, maybe tomorrow.
Yes.
So we need to balance up. Gender equality.
Oh yes.
In 2024.
Yeah.
Don't worry, you're covered.
Okay. I
it's
believe you.
We're inclusive.
Okay, I believe you when you say that.
Yeah.
All right. So, like I said, interesting things have happened, and this is a new year. One would expect that things are starting slow, but they're not starting slow at all, particularly for the education sector, as the federal government has suspended accreditation of degrees from Benin Republic and Togo. According to the press release that was signed by Augustina Obiloduru on behalf of the Director of Press and Public Relations at the Federal Ministry of Education. The suspension will persist until the conclusion of an investigation involving the Ministries of Foreign Affairs and Education and the Department of State Security Services and the National Youth Service Corps. Now, the reason for the suspension is that there are concerns about Nigerians utilizing dishonest means to obtain degrees for job opportunities they are not qualified for. Now, Nigerians love to travel. They also go for different reasons. It is not just the UK, US, some Nigerians want to study in, as far as close as neighboring countries, Benin Republic, Togo, Ghana, you have Nigerians studying there. So this concern about some Nigerians obtaining by dishonest means certificates for jobs has led to this suspension.
Well, it's amusing that we're just seeming to realize this very terrible situation that has been on forever. It's not just starting, it has been there for quite a long time, except that we are not honest with ourselves. I remember when I was in school, one of our own lecturer who said he got a degree from University of Kiev. They had to go to write to school several times to be able to justify that degree. I know when a sole administrator was sent to the school, the man has to disappear somehow. So this trend has been out there that people have been shopping for certificate. How did we get here? I think that's a real question that we need to ask ourselves. Because we're living in a climate where everybody is talking about paper qualifications, certificate, certificate, certificate. And people are not looking at what people can do. And this is the real situations that face us. In 2021, I was in a seminar teaching somewhere in Ikeja here at Sheraton Hotel. And we were having this conversation about the quality of education. And one man who was from NYSC said, look, he said, it's even more worrisome for them at NYSC, and that was in 2021, that they got somebody who was an Achaba driver who came for clearance at NYSC to say that he wanted to sign up for NYSC. And so they needed to interrogate him and say, why this credential you bring, they are not authentic. And the young man said the agent that brought it said that it was genuine and authentic. So the agent that brought the certificate said the certificate was authentic. So this is the level to which we have gotten because of emphasis on certificates and paper qualification without a corresponding skill or ability to do in the person who is presenting the qualification. We're having graduates, even not from the outside, even graduates that are produced from our schools who cannot construct 2 lines of sentences. So it's not just about the Republic, because since it was okay, well, all you need is just to have the qualification, then anybody can, if you can pay for it, you get it. So apart from the fact that they are shopping it offshore now, there's also the inshore, because there are some shopping here that's also happening. And these are the real problem which we face, and looking into the future, where people feel that hard work don't pay anymore, and if you can get it by all means, and of course nobody is going to check what you're actually doing, this is it's a real big mess we are into as a country. I remember also in 2017, I was in ASCON, and we were giving a lecture, and I was also talking about this same situation, because it had worried me for a very long time that within even our system, and you're saying that people who are supposed to be very intelligent don't pass, and the people who are not intelligent are the ones that are coming out with good grades. Because the sorting system, the sleeping system that has been in the tertiary institution has driven us such to that extent. And I remember then a deputy director in CBN was telling me, and he said, look, it's worrisome now because you even have people in the middle cadre in the civil service who cannot write simple memo. When you write, you have to rewrite it. Now, it's school that is producing these people. And this is where we really need to sanitize our education system. If we want to grow as a people, if we want to develop like we are saying on a daily basis, then of course there must be a complete overhaul. And this is a real issue. I don't think that this search can really lead to anywhere, because how many are you going to check? Is it you're going to go confirm from the university that is offering the degree? Because it's economy for them. You get a certificate, you pay, and then of course they are making money. And this is where we have found ourselves. And I think it's quite really very, very pathetic for us as a country that we can go to this extent when people can actually use their hand to work and earn a living without necessarily carrying certificate. Now this again speaks to what the Protestant ethics alluded to, which is the dignity of labor. Because if you see the comment here is the fact that people want to look good to do work. So if I'm a mechanic and I don't need to be dirty, so when we dignify every form of labor, people don't necessarily need to have to go to this length of buying certificates so to just get employment. And I think this is where we need to emphasize. Let government start to talk about skills, what we can do with our hand. There are certain clients today, when you are applying for a job, nobody asks you what class of degree you have or what paper qualification you have. The first thing is that they ask you, what can you do? So if you say, this is what I can do, then they give you the system to do. If you can't do it, you have lost the job, no matter what qualification you bring. So it's only at the point of documentation, people are asking you, which school did you attend, what have you done? But first and foremost is the skill that you possess that should give you the source of livelihood. It's pathetic, it's pitiable, but that's where we are.
This is a multifaceted issue. Now, my concern really is what is leading or what has led to people going as far as, or as close as, because if you can travel to the UK, as close as Benin Republic. Don't you worry? Is it about the standard of education? Is it about ASU going on strike regularly that has made people say, okay, I do not want my educational journey to be interrupted? Femi, what is your take on this?
I don't think that is the issue. If you look at this story in particular, it talks about the shady deals or the suspected racketeering going on about this issue of certificates. And I think this issue has been going on for years. But this particular story became public knowledge because of the investigative report done by a particular reporter of a particular platform who went to that university. And there's what we call participatory observation. When you're doing investigative reporting, you turn yourself to a victim whereby you participate in the activity in order to gather some facts. So that was exactly what this reporter did. He went to that university, and within 6 weeks he was able to get the certificate for that university. So that's why this story became public knowledge, and then, federal government had to investigate to see what is going on. So it's something that's been going on for years, not just this particular university, but this particular university is of interest because people feel within weeks you can get degrees or certificates. And so if something you ought to get within 4 or 6 years, and you can buy your way in, within few weeks you get it, people always go that route, and that's exactly why you have more attention on this kind of saga that's been going on. But this points attention to the fact that the kind of systemic problem we have when it comes to the issue of education, the kind of society we find ourselves, where people prefer to cut corners. They won't want to do the actual thing or what is expected according to standard for them to obtain the particular degree. And that's why when you see this kind of situation, when you offer them jobs, when they get on the job, they can't perform, they can't do actually what is expected because they have to do shady deals or go through the back corner to get this degree, and that's why they can't defend it. You have people who have BSc, who have masters, or even PhD, and then you're wondering, how did this person get this kind of qualification? So there's a difference between their qualification and then the performance in reality, which is where Dr. talked about the issue of skills. And it happens a lot because the emphasis in our society is your paper qualification. If I tell you I have PhD now, like doctor now, the kind of prestige or respect you have. And so people want to do everything to get that kind of degree, He got his own honorably, and that's the way it should be. But when you know that there's a particular place you can visit and get it back though within shorter period, people will go there. But I'm happy investigation is ongoing because it's looking like a racketeering, not just between that university. Some government officials are also suspected to be involved. Even some officials of NYC are also suspected to be involved. So the investigation is being widened to ensure that those is like a cartel. Or
no, I don't think government officials are involved. Now you have agents of these universities in Nigeria. Some of them are in Lagos here. Who are marketing? In this office, I have gotten a proposal from somebody who came to me and said, oh, that they are doing education for people. And I said, where? He said, Benin Republic. I said, when there's university in Nigeria here, you want me to sponsor somebody to go to Benin Republic? How can it be done? It's not possible. The proposal is still on my table. They say, they are raising funds to move people. So you have those agents who are local here, representing the universities in Nigeria. Because they know that many Nigerians are writing JAM and they are not qualifying. And so it is easy for them to actually get into this place. That's what I'm saying to you. The NYC guy told us in that conference, and he said, look, he said they call it the total package. As at that time, that they have a total package where they will give you school start, primary school, they will give you university. Complete. In your own bus. And then they give you. So that's why that Achaba man or the Okada man said, yes, said that, look, this thing, the agent who brought it said that the thing was genuine. And he was very honest about it. He said the agent said it was genuine.
Because he felt it was normal.
Yes, normal, because that's what they were doing, because you have those people who are here. Now, we should even be, because NYC has discovered this, because in 2021, they also suspended mobilizing students from Benin, Niger, Cameroon from going into NYC because of this. So what you have here is that what I'm saying in essence is not just about Benin Republic. We have had Toronto certificate saga here. Have we? And that is at the beginning of this dispensation. That's over 16, 20 years ago. So this thing has been ongoing. And again, this speaks to the problem we have with quality control. The regulatory agencies who are supposed to be, validating some of these documents are not doing their due diligence also. And this is why when they bring this thing in, we just take it. Because naturally, what do? NYC has a portal, you upload your document. And once you upload your document, they say you have graduated, you just get in and you have these issues. Now, this is the real issue that we have to face. But what is responsible for all of this is what my mind is actually on this morning. And the fact that we are over-concentrating on certificate. Beautiful CV, well written in the paper, but not in the head. So this is the issue that we have to deal with as a people. So how do we begin to emphasize that the ability of people really who are going to school to do something? Even in the local state university here, I remember in 2016, I visited my alma mater and we were sitting down and DSS were over the place. And they had this young man who read geography and regional planning from a particular university and was mobilized into NYC. And his story was told that this guy couldn't write or fill a form at NYC. And then the NYC were really worried. The state director had to call the vice chancellor of that university and ask, and they said, we have a case here. There's a young man who graduated from your school, geography and regional planning. This person cannot even write an application. We want to know how this guy graduated. And they said, okay, check the records. They went to exams and record. The records were there. The records were there. DSS were involved in this particular case, I'm telling you. The school, they came. Because even the vice chancellor, she's late now, God bless her soul. She was saying, look, she cannot imagine how it happened. Because number one, it was not one lecturer that taught this guy. It was not one department, because there are, of course, interdepartmental courses that he wrote. How did he come out with a second-class lower division from the university and pass all the courses and went to NYSC and yet could not write? So this is the dilemma that faces us. So we're not just looking at what is happening in Benin Republic or what is happening in Togo. It's to say the quality of education, even in Nigeria, is something that is questionable. And the Minister of Education should be interested in seeing how people obtain degrees in our climb. And that for me is what it is.
Well, we do hope that this investigation this time around will be holistic, not just for some time. But I actually pity those who will be caught in the web, those who actually went to school, maybe in Togo or in Benin Republic, and went through the process, got their certificate legitimately, who will not maybe be mobilized until this investigation is over. And then the stigma attached to certificates from those countries, when you present some certificate and say, I studied in that country, people look at you like, are you sure you didn't shop for this? Something like that. Well, so I hope it's holistic and it comes around.
I think they should also widen it to cover some PhDs and professors.
Okay.
Because I don't think that this packaging is just for BSc alone. It's even up to that level.
You mentioned there's a total package.
Yeah, so
we also extend to that. Very look shocked at that.
No, it's not surprising. You know, it also boils down to the fact that maybe lack of integrity. You know, you have people who prefer to fail honorably than, you know, take the shortcut. And I think that's what we should imbibe as a society, you know, that value that, okay, even if you have reasons to write your JAMB or to sit again, yes, do it. Ensure that you have it in a legitimate way, not just cutting corners because you want to have your degrees. Because in the long run, it will be obvious that actually that you cut corners.
You see, until we get to that point as a country, where we recognize that the degree or certificates are only a means to an end and not an end in itself, we will continue to go around this route. What is important to people is that you have a degree so I can get a job. Now, if you learn a skill, you don't necessarily need to be shopping for a degree. And I think this is what we need to do. The overemphasis in public space for paper qualification should be discouraged. And I think that's the point. And that will be the starting point, really. Because we can do all the investigation in the whole world, and at the end of the day, it will really amount to nothing because we have not actually, we will not be able to solve the problem in total because there are so many. Some are in Ghana, not just here. I see some young people who say, oh, I'm ready. They couldn't get admission in Nigeria, but they have been admitted to study medicine in Ghana. And these are issues, and for me, it's quite worrisome.
And then some parents even believe that maybe the standard of education there is better because you don't hear frequent strikes by the academic body, so they just want their children to study. So I think that's part of it too. If this year so far, from what happened last year and the assurance and the communication between the federal government and ASU, we hope that all through this year we don't get to hear of any industrial action by the academic body. If this continues over time, it will to a great extent discourage those who feel like, let me study in a neighboring country. Because yes, apart from the ASU strike and some of the issues that we have in tertiary institutions, I know that we have standard institutions in Nigeria.
Oh yeah, oh yes.
All right, the next story is talking about the automation of Nigerian passport. You know, according to the Minister of Interior, Olubimi Ojo, he said they've initiated the process for that to start online. So it's going to kick off January 8th. So what that means is, before now, you usually have to visit the passport office to get your passport. You know, this has been leading to a lot of inefficiency, you know, wasted time and energy, bottleneck, and even leading to racketeering where you still have to, you know, tip your way before you get things done. But the minister is saying this time around, we want to deploy technology to the issue of passport application. So what that means is to be easier for Nigerians. At the comfort of your home, you can apply for Nigerian passport. All you just have to do is with your smartphone and with your internet, you go on the website, you supply the necessary information, and you maybe in a number of days or weeks, you get your passport for you. You know, Idauza, what do you think about that? That sounds like what you've been advocating.
Yeah, automation is great for government services, and I think it's the right thing to do. But I think this process has been on for a while because in the last 2 years, really, the NIS portal has always been open, immigration, where you can actually apply and upload your documents for your passport. And some people tried it and it did work, depending on which location that you want to do your capture. Yeah, but what was worrisome about that process was the fact that having gone online to apply for your passport, you still need to get to passport office to print out because they have to open a file for you at the passport office for your capture and things like that. But one is hoping that with this new development, that process, of course, will no longer be there, that people can actually, it can be completely automated, such that when people apply online, they don't need to be visiting the passport office. They are alerted automatically via the means of communication that they are put on the registration portal that, oh, your capture is 1 p.m., 11 p.m., based on the facility that's available. Then that reduces the number of pressure that people go to. Because really what you see is that some people who also have applied online before and they get to the passport office and they have given a date and they get there and the date is not available. So they're asking them, okay, come and KYC your documents, you know, you put everything in order again, they fill a file for you and fill a form from you, which of course was a duplication. So I do hope that we can actually, like it's done in other places. I was talking to a friend in Rwanda and he was asking me, how long does it take you to get a driver's license or international passport? And he said in 24 hours, if you register it today, then by this same time, they call you for a capture. And I think we can get to that level where systems are allowed to determine, because you find that there's also a lot of racketeering that is going on by agents.
Even touts.
Well, let's not call them touts.
The touting around the passport.
Yes, office, because they are making so much money.
Yeah.
And you are doing 32 pages and it's supposed to be 25,000, which is official, and they charge you 40,000. Because they have to help you facilitate the process. So once we automate it, all these processes will be reduced. But of course, now there's some hunger for these agents because some people livelihood actually depend on it also.
No, the point is we need to get it right as a nation. Yeah. If it means some people wouldn't be happy with this, yes, let it be, because the right thing to do. You know, you can't reach away the fact that technology makes things easier and efficient. Now, if you visit the passport office, the level of congestion you see in that place, you imagine if there's a crusade or a revival somewhere, because everybody is trooping to the office to get one thing or the other. But if this is automated, it makes it easier. If it's not fully automated, yes, we can give them understanding that it's a matter of time. If they start this way, it's a good way to start. I'm hoping it can be fully automated. Yeah. Because what it means now is part of the processing that should have been done at the office, it reduces human interface. And what that means is it saves time. Then you can plan for other things. Then everything becomes more organized. If you're supposed to visit the office, you're given a particular time and a particular day. So what it means is coming to that place, you're going to spend lesser time to get whatever you need to get. But I'm hoping that even with the issue of data capturing, that can be done online. But I don't know if that can be done on the website. But that will still take you to the office. But what that means is it simplifies the process. And the human interface is reduced. And as a result, corruption it's also reduced. Yeah,
but for me, really, I don't think that crowd will be necessary if we have the right technology for printing. The real problem is printing. And I think that's where the minister needs to actually focus on. That the booklets are available. And we don't need to go to overseas to print these booklets. No matter what security features we have on it.
That's another conversation.
How are we going to mobilize and empower the printing and minting company of Nigeria to actually print passport for us? So that if people are applying, within 1 week,
they should get their passports.
The booklet should be available. Because it is the absence of the booklet that is creating the crowd, that is creating the opportunity for rent seeking. That's the problem. Because if you stay and capture, And they say, oh, in 1 week your passport will be ready, and in 1 week you go back and pick your passport. Nobody will go to bribe. But now, once you do all this process, you will still need to queue to be able to access or get your passport. So this is the issue. And I think that's where the real emphasis needs to be. How do we print this passport locally? And then we are able, that whatever contract people have to go and print this passport and bring it from overseas, we should not be shopping money. We are talking about foreign exchange scarcity. And we are still doing things that we can do at home, as simple as printing booklet. People in Shomolu here can do that if printing company cannot do it. So I don't see anything that is too fantastic about the document or the passport that we cannot print locally. And that also saves us foreign exchange. Because if you look at the volume of people who are here printing, who are applying for passports on a daily basis, that's enough money for us as a country.
It's possible for us to print locally. It's just because over the time, the assumption that if it is printed locally, then compromise is high. But compromise can happen elsewhere because it is still Nigerians who will oversee the process, whether it's done here or not. So it's about you having people of integrity, having company of integrity to handle it. So that will make it easier and faster. You can even have another company added to the printing and meat company of Nigeria, so that we know that we have two companies that are certified to handle the printing of passports. Because it's almost like you're seeking for visa to a country when you're applying for passport. It takes quite a lot. And with the automation, I hope it's truly automated, not that some part of it is automated. You still go over to repeat the process, and there's paper, documentation, and everything all over again. It has to be a matter of who you know, how much you can spend before you can get your passport on time. These are the issues.
Maybe Femi should go and do the undercover.
Oh yes, Femi.
Yes, I would love to do it.
But they've seen your face already, so you should be looking at you.
But there are ways to go about that kind of investigative reporting that you don't have to read.
But we actually hope that some changes do happen quickly regarding the issue of international passports. Let's get to the Middle East right now, where oil prices are reported to have surged over 2% in the initial New Year session. Now, this was driven by concerns of potential disruptions in Middle East supply following the recent attack on a container ship in the Red Sea and optimistic expectations for Chinese demand. So currently, Brent crude has climbed by $1.58 to $78.62 per barrel.
Yeah, we've said this before the year came. It is the law of demand and supply, and you're going to have that. And that's exactly also we said yesterday when, of course, we're talking about the benchmarking of the budget against the oil price. Now, what you find here is that the world is so interconnected that whatever is happening in one area affects the other place. And this alert has been coming, that even the shipping companies have been wary of whether it's the Panama Canal or the Suez Canal, because terrorists also are gone into the waters.
Pirates.
Yeah. So this is the issue. So there have been attacks, and shipping will become a problem. And this is what they talk about logistics in supply chain management, that if you have disruption at one end, the risk is shared. And this is what we're seeing. And we don't know how long this is going to be. But I also think that United Nations really need to think about how to address this issue, because it's worrisome. And if it is to mobilize the Universal Navy to guide the waters so that we can be free a little bit from the challenge that is caused by these attacks, because it's one out too many. And this is going to affect a whole lot of people. It's not just people in the it will also affect us. Just imagine that we are also duly deregulated now, as it were, and the market price will determine the cost of petrol. It will affect us here, and it's going to be global.
So it's a gain in one hand and a loss in the
other.
other.
In another hand. So this is what it is that the problem of terrorism, naturally, for me, is so worrisome. And this is the failure of society, honestly speaking. And I think that even the American championing for freedom is going for me, too far in terms of how we conceive democracy today. That there's a need for us to be able to control and reinvent the culture of discipline that can form from home. Because what you're seeing today is that you're having a world where you are having too many rebellious people. And this rebellion is a function of the excess freedom that the society is advocating for children growing up. And you know, when we were growing up, there was so much discipline. There are things you couldn't do or contemplate. And those are the value that got into us. When you see your school teacher coming, you will run. But today you're having children going beating their teachers. And this is what is going into the society, because we are having a culture that teacher can't flog students. So you can't discipline them. And children naturally, even like the Holy Scripture says, foolishness is what is in the heart of a child. It is only the rod of correction that takes it away. And until we begin to do these issues, a lot is going to happen, because this is where we are. And we are trying to put, I was talking with my CEO last night, and we're looking at the issue of the suspension of Niger Republic and Uganda from AGOA by Biden. And what is the reason? The reason is that, because in Uganda there is anti-lesbian law or homosexual law in Uganda, therefore they cannot benefit from America. And then, of course, they said there is a coup in Benin Republic. And I said, what morality is American champion here, really? They have not seen the immoral act of France on Benin, raping them up for ages. That didn't worry America. It's the coup that is worrying them. What has the liberalization of homosexuality done to any country in the world? And I asked myself yesterday, and I sat down and I'm looking. Since I was studying political science in university, we'll be talking about AGOA. Who has it really helped? What growth have we seen in Africa? And I said, this is the right time for Africa really to sit up and determine their fate, because this is what is actually the breeding ground for terrorism. And this is what we're talking about here. Now, when you are seeing that the whole world is spending so much in defense and security, because almost everybody is becoming a terrorist, somehow. So the world must find a way and a solution to this issue, because that's where we are. Otherwise, we're in a state of mutual assured destruction.
Well, is it just about the too much freedom or liberty given to the younger generation? Because terrorism seems to encompass different aspects. You have those who go into it for religious reasons. You have those who are disgruntled with the government of the day. You have those who are elderly, who are rich in the society funding it.
Yeah, of course. A lot of people go into it as a result of different reasons, like you said. But you see, what's the greatest driver for crime really now, today? Is really not the fact that people are defending one religion, because some people just want to prove a point. And that is what it is. So when you have people, I was telling somebody recently, I said, if I look at the time I left the university up to now, and I knew that when I was in the university, my mother was scared because of the level of killing that was happening in my university at that time. Secret courtesan. Now you imagine that university in the last 30 years have been breeding people who are used to carrying gun. This is the situation that we all face. And these are children that are raised from homes. We are disciplined. This is the point I'm making. So you are looking at it that you can imagine. They said in Echo Shudi yesterday, about 30 people were killed. The fight between Eye and Black Ass. Now taken to Motor Park, not even in the university anymore. You see, these are issues that we have to deal with because there are moral crisis that faces us. And I feel that the reason why children are this delinquent is because we say, oh, we can't correct them. They are right by themselves. And that's why the world is where it is today. And I feel that we must look at these issues because they are interconnected. Look at what Nigeria is spending on defense and security. Look at what crisis this is creating for the entire world. That they are seeing terrorists coming from Iran, blocking the Suez Canal, and then, of course, is impacting the entire world in terms of disruption in the logistics system. This is the point.
All right, this is where we call it a wrap on news analysis today. This is as much as we can take because of time factor. We need to go into other issues. Thank you very much, Delsa Osamaze, for making it very hot here today. And I hope that the heat gets to the right quarters and change begins to happen.
We hope so, really, that the world is safe for all of us. And it will be a better world for all of us.
I think the message is that do not think that because it's not happening in your end today, it won't get there. So we need to do our own part to ensure that we say the right things, we'll culture or raise people in the right culture so that the world can be safe for every one of us to live in. And thank you, Femi.
Providing the right compliment.
Of course, you like that a lot. It's going to break, and it's time for us to look at what the economy holds for Nigeria in 2024.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godio Didi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching.
My name is Dr. Ajili Tobi. My name is Etemere Glover. Naomi, well done, and shout out to Souq News.
Shout out to Souq News. I want to encourage everyone to keep watching Souq News.
Shout out to Souq News, and yes, tune into them.
Keep watching Souq News. They are one in town.
Hey, we're watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. Catch them on YouTube and all social media channels.
Hey, my name is Frank Edowo, and I'm imploring you. No, forget that. I am forcing you, coercing you to always stay tuned to Souq News for your news requirements.
Lateef Jakande. Born Lateef Kayode Jakande in the Ekbetedo area of Lagos Island, Lagos State on July 1929. He studied at the Lagos Public School at Enuowa, Lagos Island, then at Bonham Memorial Methodist School, Port Harcourt, King's College, enrolled at Ilesha Grammar School, where he edited a literary paper called The Quarterly Mirror. Jakande began a career in journalism in 1949 with the Daily Service and joined the Nigerian Tribune in 1953. The owner, Chief Obafemi Awolowo, appointed Jakande editor-in-chief of the Tribune in 1956. Jakande established John West Publications in 1975 after leaving Tribune and began to publish the Lagos News. He served as the first president of the Newspaper Proprietors Association of Nigeria, NPAN. Jakande ran for election as executive governor of Lagos State in 1979 on the Unity Party of Nigeria platform. His administration was effective and open and implemented the cardinal policies of his party. He introduced housing and educational programs targeting the poor, building new neighborhood primary and secondary schools, and providing free primary and secondary education. He gave poor people's children education, and many of them are now very prominent in the society today. Jakande established the Lagos State University and constructed over 30,000 housing units. After the military takeover in 1983, Jakande was charged, prosecuted, and convicted of treason and later pardoned. He served as Minister of Works under the Sani Abacha military regime. He died in Lagos on February 11, 2021. Lateef Jakande was the first civilian governor of Lagos State. Lateef Kayode Jakande, Souq Enlightenment. Morning and welcome to Early Exchange with Blessing Aiche, Femi Ayodele, Sam Oruoje, and Idahosa Osamanze.
It's a national orientation agency. It's, as far as I'm concerned, very idle and unprofessional.
If government says that subsidy is not in oil and government is not supposed to be paying subsidy in oil,
energy or whatever kind of off-grid solution we will be looking at.
Today we are conducting mining today. Solid minerals, as an example, is, in no disrespect to anybody, is abysmal. We definitely need improvements in those areas. Of course, there are infrastructural needs.
This is Early Exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
All right, glad you have you back. Glad to know that you're still there with us. Don't mind me, I'm just excited that, we have a new look, and that's always about Early Exchange. We always get bigger and better. We're about looking at the financial outlook for the year 2024. It's the beginning of a new year, the dawn of a new era, and the Nigerians and Africans are looking forward to what the year is going to look like. And I want to set the pace by giving you an idea of what the financial sector will look like, some of the financial investments you need to take advantage of in this year. And so shortly we'll be speaking with our guests who will be giving us tips, some of the trends in the financial market, some of the opportunities you can take advantage of as an individual to maximize gains. Don't forget, this is your program. It means you can be part of this conversation by joining us on our YouTube platform and our social media platform to share your view on some of the financial opportunities that will be available in the year 2024. To shed more light on this, we're being joined by Andrew Ogbe, who is a financial analyst. He joins us virtually. Andrew, glad to have you join us this morning.
Thank you. Good morning. It's nice to be here again. Such an honor to be with you this morning.
Yes, always our pleasure to host you on Early Exchange. So let's start with the financial investment in the year 2024. It's the beginning of a new year. Give us an idea of some of the trends in the financial sector and some of the opportunities that are available as the year, it starts unfolding, that Africans or Nigerians need to take advantage of in the financial market. Let's start with that.
Okay, thank you for having me here once again. Now, with regards to financial investments in the year 2024, I'd like to first of all focus on digital investment, digital assets, which is one of the areas I major in. Now, 2024 is an interesting year because in the aspect of digital assets, a very interesting year because we are anticipating what is called the bull market, okay, in the digital space. Now, otherwise called cryptocurrencies. Now, in 2024, we are most likely going to experience the bull market. Now, in this space, every 4 years, right, because of a phenomenon known as the Bitcoin halving, like cryptocurrencies experience what is called the bull market. And the bull market is simply when prices spike. So a lot of people, the assets they own are going to grow in value and they're going to make a lot of money from it, right? So this is an interesting period. Those who have being able to take advantage of financial opportunities in the digital space might see massive returns, even though, yes, there are risks, but there might be massive gains for people who have positioned themselves earlier enough to benefit from the digital space.
All right, Andrew, Happy New Year.
Yeah, same here. Nice to meet you again. Nice to be here.
And we're glad to see your face this year. The reason Femi was excited when he was introducing the topic is because we're about to talk about money. And so, you know, money makes anyone smile. All right, looking at investments in this year, digital assets you just talked about, is not something that everyone is knowledgeable about, and so some persons are weary, particularly when you talk about crypto. Now, how has it been over the past year, that's 2023, and moving into 2024, the acceptance, the willingness to make investments in digital assets? In your assessment, how has it been in Nigeria? Has it grown? Are people now comfortable putting their money in some digital assets?
Okay, globally speaking, Nigeria is not doing badly with regards to adoption, acceptance, and adoption of cryptocurrency because we stand to be the second largest nation in the world that has adopted cryptocurrency. I think that's after India. So if you talk about globally, we are not doing so badly. We're third before on the list, but right now Nigeria is second on the list. So which means adoption and awareness is growing. And with regards to the recent developments, the recent CBN regulation and the CBN lifting of the ban on commercial banks operating accounts for virtual asset service providers, I think more Nigerians are becoming more aware, and media presence like this and having sessions like this is also creating more awareness. So I would say that Nigerians are becoming more and more comfortable, even though we have also a large population that is still not aware and are still not comfortable with digital assets, right? Which I understand, but so far so good. We are not doing so badly. With when a statistic was done in comparison with the internet, right, the adoption of the internet. Now, where we are presently with regards to digital assets is in 1999, when the internet also how the internet in the adoption of the internet. It means the population that has adopted or that is aware of cryptocurrency right now in Nigeria is the same as the population that were aware of the internet and adopted the internet as of 1999. So you see, we are still far behind, but we are not doing so badly. A few years from now, the whole trend might spike.
All right, talking about the Nigerian space, what do you think is largely responsible for the growing interest in cryptocurrencies? Like you mentioned the issue of internet. It's not just now, but in recent times, in the last few years, you have this growing interest in cryptocurrencies. What do you think is largely responsible for this, and what will be the impact of this on that market?
Okay, with regards to Nigeria, I think one of the reasons why the growing interest for Nigerians is we have a very large and a vibrant youth population, right? And these things are more acceptable. Technology generally is more acceptable amongst young people before the older ones get to eventually just probably fall in line or stay with what they've known. Now, since Nigeria will have a very large population, of course, we are seeing that. And also, you know, in Nigeria, people are considering alternative ways of making money, right? The traditional way of making money, it's not providing it's not meeting the necessary demands in Nigeria. In Nigeria, we have a very large population and mostly no jobs for this population. So people tend to look for other means to earn sustainable income, right? So that is why we see the growing population moving towards cryptocurrencies. And globally also, you see globally the trend, and also apart from the fact that we have a young population, the period like I spoke earlier, like I said earlier, that we are in the cryptocurrency space, right? Where we are anticipating what is called the bull market, right? A lot of people are interested. This period, you hear a lot of, you begin to see a lot of things about cryptocurrency, a lot of ads, a lot of conversation around cryptocurrency because of the bull market. So this gets a lot of other people who were not interested before to become interested and begin to pay attention to this. So these are some of the reasons why we have an increasing participation. And also we've seen multinationals, right, coming into cryptocurrencies. For example, there's a particular bank in the US that has been buying Bitcoin, I think for the past few months now, every single day, $4 million worth of Bitcoin every single day. So with this participation of these industry players, it gives new investors more confidence in the system. So that is why we are seeing what we're seeing today. And I think it's just going to continue that way.
All right, so, but cryptocurrencies are still seen as volatile and highly speculative. But there are some, like you just talked about, that are doing quite well. And you say that 2024 seemed like it's going to be a bullish run for the crypto markets. Can you point us in the direction of some cryptos that are doing quite well? And one can say it will be a good investment.
Okay. Endeavor to do your own research. That's what we always say in the cryptocurrency space. And we always say that whatever we say is not financial advice, right? Endeavor to do your own research. It's something we always say in this space. Now, but with regards to cryptocurrencies that are doing well, now there are several cryptocurrencies that have been predicted to do very well in this bull run. We have Bitcoin, we have Ethereum. Even though Bitcoin, it's going to do very well, but may not be a very viable investment for someone who is just starting out and doesn't have access to funds, right? So, but we have other cryptocurrencies that are still they are not as expensive as Bitcoin. They are called altcoins, but are also predicted to do well. But what I'm going to state is what Nigerians should look out for, right? Not just the specific cryptocurrencies, okay? Because you cannot absolutely or 100%, 100% tell the particular cryptocurrency that is going to spike in value or the percentage is going to do it. But there's a few of them that are doing well right now. Ethereum, Binance, they are doing very well. Solana, those coins are doing very well. But I rather speak on things to look out for, right, when investing in cryptocurrencies. There are three key things I think people should look out for, Nigerians should look out for. I think number one will be the utility of the cryptocurrency, because cryptocurrencies don't just spike in value. It's because they solve real life problems and people use them to solve those problems, right? The technology solve those problems. Now look at the utility of the project and look at cryptocurrencies that solves problems in the area or that create solutions in the area of AI, as artificial intelligence, in the area of metaverse, NFTs, and the rest, right? Cryptocurrency, because these are emerging technologies. This is technology that is a lot of people are talking about. AI is going to take center stage in the next decade. So cryptocurrencies that provide solutions in this area might be a profitable investment. In metaverse also, metaverse is revolutionizing how social interaction. So all these things, look in those areas. So I don't want to mention just specific projects, right? Because like we always say, whatever we say is not financial advice. So, but if you follow these things, strong utility, looking at the strong utility, that's number one. Then number two, if you look at the community behind the project, do they have a vibrant and a growing population, a growing community for that particular project? Because one of the things that leads to the growth in value of cryptocurrencies is that we have more people adopting it, and cryptocurrencies are steady in supply. In fact, they even go down in supply, right? So because of a constant supply, if demand goes up, right, the price will go up also. So if the utility is strong and there's a vibrant and a growing community. And how do you check for a vibrant and a growing community? Check their social media, right? What other people, what the participants in the project are saying about it. If more people are talking about a particular project or going into a particular project, if a significant number of people are talking about it, it means there's something the project is doing that probably you're not seeing yet. So look at their community, check their social, their Telegram, check their Twitter, check their Discord, Instagram, check their YouTube, check these things, right, and see what people are saying about the project, right? Then thirdly, look at the team behind the project, research the team behind the project. Do they have a visionary team, right? What is their roadmap? For example, if I talk about Ethereum, what is the developer of Ethereum? What does he want to achieve in the next 3, 4, 5 years, right? Where is he taking the project to? Does he align with where the world is going to? So when I look at these things, I can, to a large extent, tell if a particular cryptocurrency is a viable investment. So I talked about the utility of the project, the community, and the team behind the project. These three key things will work very well.
Now let's talk about Bitcoin. You know, Bitcoin seems to be getting all the attention in recent times. In fact, the latest figure shows that it has surpassed $45,000, you know, in the last nearly 2 years. What are the peculiarities about Bitcoin, and what do you think is gaining more attention in recent times?
Okay, with regards to Bitcoin, like I said, I mentioned a particular bank in the US who have been buying over $4 million worth of Bitcoin every single day. So we all know that Bitcoin is the first, was the first cryptocurrency that was established, that was created, is the first cryptocurrency. So of course, it's going to get that kind of attention. And Bitcoin is seen as a store of value, a store of value. In fact, it's often referred to as digital gold. So what people will do with gold, people will most likely do with Bitcoin, right? So that is why there is a growing interest in Bitcoin. And as these big players, these big industry players begin to come into the project, there will be a spike in the value. And also smaller players also come into because of what they call FOMO, fear of missing out. And Bitcoin, also another reason for the growth in the price of Bitcoin is the Bitcoin halving that is coming up. Bitcoin halving. Now, the Bitcoin halving is scheduled for, I think, April 2024. Now, the Bitcoin halving is a phenomenon that reduces, that halves the reward of Bitcoin given to miners. So it invariably reduces the quantity of Bitcoin in supply. Now, and when the quantity is reduced that is in supply, demand goes up and price goes up also. So because people know this, people who are aware of the technology know these things, that it happens every 4 years. This time, people begin to invest. Even before the halving itself, people are already buying into Bitcoin, trying to hold it. And experts speculate that Bitcoin could get to as high as even $100,000, because the last all-time high of Bitcoin in 2021 was $61,000. Right now, like you said, it's at $45,000. So it hasn't even hit its all-time high, which was in 2021. So because of this phenomenon, right, we might see a spike, a growth in the price of Bitcoin. I think we're just starting.
All right, at this time of the year when people are looking for where to put their money and the knowledge of digital assets is becoming very familiar, are there certain kinds of Ponzi schemes, or how can you differentiate a Ponzi imitating crypto? What are the things to look out for when an investment opportunity is presented to you in the guise of crypto? Are there things to differentiate Ponzi from crypto?
Okay, yes, there are things you can look out for that differentiates crypto from viable investment from Ponzi. But one thing I like to say ahead of time is that even the best of us at times get burnt, right? It's not always a win-win situation. But of course, you can get smarter in the space and know when a project is purely scam, Okay, it's a Ponzi or whatever you might. It's a scam project. Now, one of it is that if something is too good to be true, it's most likely it's not true. If something is too good to be true, it's most likely it's not true. So if the returns that it promises is beyond logical reason, right? There's no economically justifiable reason why that particular project should do the numbers that they are telling you. It's possible that that investment is scam. Okay, it's possible. It's not. It doesn't rule out the possibility of it being good, but it's possible that it's a scam. So you should beware. Okay, that's one of it. Now, secondly, is people should be wary of projects that are just based on hypes. They're just based on hype. They don't solve any real life problem, right? Just based on hypes. People are just hyping the project. But when you look at their roadmap, when you look at their what they call their white paper, right? They don't solve any real life problem. The project doesn't have any problem itself. The whole thing is just purely based on speculation, hype, and the rest. That could also trigger some trigger something that this might not be a profitable investment. This might be scam, and also people should also look out for all these free things. This period, right? We're going to have a lot of free things. Claim $500 here, claim this here, perform this activity and claim that, right? People should be wary of those type of airdrops, right? Because they can use that to take your hard-earned money from your crypto wallet. So all these free things here and there, like they often say, there is no free lunch even in Freetown. So these are some of the things people should look out for when to know if a project is scam. And also, you need to go and check what their social media, what people are saying about the project. Like I said earlier, what are people saying about the project? The people who are in the project now, what are they saying about the project, and what are they saying about the developers? If you just look a little bit deeper, I think you'll be able to tell if a project is scam or not. Look at what people are saying about the project. Check credible sources. Check on Twitter. Check their Telegram, and see if what others are saying about that project. This can also trigger, make you trigger some caution when dealing with such projects.
All right, as we speak now, at the moment in Nigeria, cryptocurrencies are not recognized as legal tender. In fact, in the year 2021, the CBN had to ban commercial banks from engaging in cryptocurrencies and some activities related to it. How do you see this playing out now that the CBN seems to be looking in that direction? An attempt to even regulate, will it be possible now that it's a digital market, a global market, is not limited to Nigeria? How do you see this playing out in this year, 2024?
Okay, well, cryptocurrency is not legal tender yet in Nigeria, right? And I don't see it being. Also, there are very few. I think I just know of one country that is El Salvador now, that Bitcoin is seen as a legal tender, but it's in Nigeria no. So what we just saw, what the federal government has done is to lift the ban, like you said, on commercial banks from trading crypto for virtual asset service providers. But there is still a ban on commercial banks trading it from their own account. So what we are going to see is the regulation, right? This is a step in the right direction. It's a very, very good step that I think is in the right direction, because we see even big countries, right, are coming into cryptocurrency. The American government is one of the top holders of Bitcoin, right? And I'm seeing that Nigeria too will begin to take center stage, the Nigerian government, with regards to what happens in the cryptocurrency space, right? Even though, yes, it's decentralized, but I think with the regulation, they can curb what financial crimes and possibly the fear of terrorism financing that is with cryptocurrency, right? So I think it's a step in the right direction.
All right, thank you very much, Andrew, for talking with us this morning about digital asset investments. This is the year 2024, so some that didn't spend all the money on chicken, turkey, and all the lounging that they did for Christmas and New Year, thinking where can they put it and get good returns. And we thank you for this information that you shared with us this morning.
Thank you very much for having me here, and Happy New Year once again.
Thank you. All right, let's go on a quick break. When we return, it's time for us to talk about the Nigerian economy holistically.
I'm okay.
My name is Raymond Bola Brown.
Hi, my name is Fred Amata, and you are on to Souq News.
If you are watching this channel for the first time, make sure you continue to watch it, because this is Souq News.
Shout out to Souq News. Actually, I don't know. I really enjoyed the little moment I spent with you, and I think with more of this.
Souq News. Here's the Souq News who had the courage to transcend a locked off camera and actually have a conversation with a human being. It's a pleasure, Souq News. Thank you very much.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godio Didi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching.
My name is Olatunji Shoti Miri. I'm a performing artist and, television radio presenter and a university lecturer, Unilag. Keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Black, Africa's finest music comedian, and you're watching Souq News. If you're not watching Souq News, I pity you, but keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Timmy Dakolo, and you're watching Souq News. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Wisdom Oluwaseun Okoko, co-founder Orbit Africa Properties. I'm live at Souq News. Guys, keep watching Souq News. For everything that concerns business, economy, politics, news, Souq News is your station.
My name is Dr. Rafiu Oladipo.
My name is Baba Jalal Repega.
I'm Reverend Juliet Benite.
I'm Godio Didi.
My name is Professor Oladokun Sulaiman Olarawaju.
Souq News is on the ground, loading.
Very enlightening, very educative, and entertaining.
Thank you to Souq News.
So I'm happy that Souq TV has come into existence.
I'm happy to be here in the Souq News.
I want to encourage you to subscribe to the channel and keep watching news that makes sense.
As Browning said, one's extension of one's reach should not exceed one's grasp, or what is heaven for. And I think Souq News is doing that.
Africa needs a voice of truth, and Souq News has become one of them. And get ready, get ready, get ready.
And keep watching.
Keep watching Souq News.
Keep watching Souq News. It's a place to be.
Keep watching.
National Theatre, Igomu. Built during the military regime of Olusegun Obasanjo and finished in the time for the Second World Festival of Black Arts and Culture, Festac, in 1977. The theatre holds amazing treasures and memories. The artworks fill everyone with pride. The National Arts Theatre is visible from the motorway which connects Lagos Island and the mainland. The National Theatre is packed with the artworks of legendary contemporary Nigerian artists, stained glass walls by Yusuf Grillo, sculptures and murals by Lamidi Fakeye, Erabo Emopai, and many others. It was put to full use for a month as one of the 4 venues of the second World Black and African Festival of Arts and Culture, tagged Festac 77. The complex hosted 16,000 participants from 56 African countries and the diaspora in an unprecedented showcase of African music, fine art, literature, drama, dance, and religion. The National Art Theatre was built and designed by Techno Expert Stroll, a Bulgarian company mirroring the Palace of Culture and Sports in Varna, Bulgaria. Completed in 1976, the building is one of the largest and most beautiful of its kind on the African continent. It consists of a central hall with 5,000 seats, a collapsible stage that can be quickly rebuilt, a conference hall with 1,600 seats, 2 large exhibition halls, and 2 cinemas with 800 seats each. The theater complex has a dressing room for artists, a garage, offices, coffee bars, and a buffet. It has indoor TV and radio systems, as well as booths with facilities for simultaneous translation of languages and hectares of lush green lawn around. The majestic structure sits in Igomu like a quiet mountain, mesmerizing visitors and passers-by. The National Theatre, Souq Enlightenment. Good morning and welcome to Early Exchange with Blessing Aiche, Femi Ayodele, Sam Oruoje, and Idahosa Osamanze.
It's a national orientation agency. It's, as far as I'm concerned, very idle and unprofessional.
Government says that subsidy is not in oil, and government is not supposed to be paying subsidy in oil.
Energy or whatever kind of oil-based solution we will be looking at.
Today we are conducting mining today. Solid minerals, as an example, is, in no disrespect to anybody, it's abysmal. We definitely need improvements in those areas. Of course, there are infrastructural needs.
This is Early Exchange, shaping policy, advancing development.
It's great to know you're still with us on Early Exchange this morning, and like I said, it's to look at the projections that have been made for the Nigerian economy in the year 2024. Now, it's been projected that Nigeria's GDP will grow by 3.3% in the year 2024. And we know that in 2023, inflation was at an all-time high in Nigeria, ending at 28.7% in the year. That's a record high. But in 2024, there are projections around that. What that is, I will not tell you yet until after I introduce my guests to you. Now, joining us to look at the economic projections for Nigeria in the year 2024 is an economic analyst and, of course, a statistician, Destiny Owubo. He joins us virtually. Good morning, Destiny. Please unmute your mic so we can have the conversation. Okay. Good to see the latest version of you in 2024.
Happy New Year.
I wish you saying, I didn't get rice and chicken, but I forgive you.
Okay, there's always an opportunity.
All right. We're looking at the economic outlook for Nigeria in 2024. And like I said, there have been projections made for the Nigerian economy in this year. One of them is the GDP growth. It is expected or projected that Nigeria's economy will grow by 3.3% in this year. What's your take on that? Does it look feasible?
Actually, we cannot discuss the question of growth without looking at the trend. Generally, if you compare it to last year, it is expected that the growth will slow down a little because the government is trying to fight inflation. there's a global trend to slow down economies worldwide because of the heated economies, the Ukraine fight, the Israel-Gaza war, the aftermath of COVID-19. And so there's a general slowdown in prediction. The World Economic Outlook says that the world is going to slow down by an average of about 1% growth point. So Nigeria growing for 2024 is not big news, especially when we consider the fact that it's expected that it is going to slow down compared to last year. So Nigeria will begin to recover around 2025, 2026. Then the international growth plan for the world is slowing down, and then the fastest growing economies in the world happen to be African economies at the moment. Emerging economies and developing economies like Nigeria. So while the developed world will grow at just about maybe 1 or 2%, Africa is still maintaining between 4 to 3% growth. So Nigeria happens to be in that trend of those countries that is predicted to grow slowly in 2024.
Talking about the Nigerian economy, I would like you to talk to us about some of the trends, some of the policies that might likely shape the economy in the year 2024. You have the CBN coming out with some of its initiatives talking about recapitalization, and then the Minister of Finance and the Coordinating Minister of the Economy also talking about the year 2024. In your view, what are some of the trends and policies that will shape the economy in the year 2024?
I think for Nigeria, what we are trying to do, what our major achievement for 2024 will be in the area of business confidence. The banking consolidation program is going to simply improve the confidence in the financial sector because bigger banks are expected to be more stable. The federal government, the budget of 28.7 trillion also communicates to the world that the government wants to the government is intending to spend heavily on the economy, and that means business confidence will be improved by that expenditure framework. And then we also expect that if government is using its monetary policy to tighten the economy to slow down inflation, when inflation is down, business confidence increases. And so this policy mixes is expected to create a general positive outlook for the economy for 2024. Okay, and then the government started very well too by signing the budget into law. For some time, between 2016 and 2018, we had a problem with our budgetary cycle. But between 2021 and 2022, we tried to get the January-December timeline. And then this is the first budget he's signing into law. And then it is a good precedent that the president signed it into law as the year is starting. So we have returned back to our January-December budget cycle, which is good. It makes the business world trust the government and see that the government is interested in ensuring that its budget is well financed and operated according to the Fiscal Responsibility Act and according to the laws. So if government is the monetary sector is consolidating, the fiscal sector is trying to operate by rules, the general investment climate gets a positive news, and it communicates that this year may be a good year for business, but the implementation will determine how much of that confidence is misplaced or actually in order.
Okay, looking at the budgets, are there areas of concern for you? Are there sectors where you feel not much of activity or not much of change will happen in the year 2024?
Actually, the budget, there's nothing very novel about the budget, except that it is good news anytime we have a budget that has more capital expenditure than recurrent expenditure. It communicates that the government is interested in spending in the critical areas of the economy. The budget focus mainly is on security and on capital expenditure in terms of road construction, power, and other areas. So that's a good plus. The 35% of that budget goes to capital expenditure. 30% goes to recurrent expenditure, which has always been the burden of our budgets. And then 1/3 of that budget goes to debt servicing. which is looking at the debt financing. So before now, about 2 years ago, it was about 50-50. The half of our budget went into debt payment, but this time around, it is one third of the budget. So we are reducing the size of our debt payments, increasing our capital expenditure, and balancing our recurrent expenditure. It is also instructive to note too that the budget doubles the amount of statutory transfers to the judiciary. What that does is that it puts more confidence on the business sector, because most of the business problems we have are litigation problems, which ultimately fall into the judiciary. So if the judiciary is going to be independent, ability to take decisions and make judgments that are not based on interference from the other arms of government, we expect that the judiciary should have financial independence. And this government has doubled that amount by over 100%, from about 161 billion to about 340 billion to the judiciary. This has a positive outlook for the judicial independence and the ability of the courts to make independent judgments and even facilitate business litigations. So these are the positive little innovations in the budget that may seem to make the budget pro-business, pro-output, and then pro-employment. And we also notice too that the budget tries to look at the federal government inviting foreigners to invest in this country. The economic fundamentals at the moment does not support business, because as we hear, about 7 or 8 major international brands are leaving Nigeria before March. Now, when government prepares a budget and is talking about budget transparency, talking about business confidence, talking about the ease of doing business, we may expect what that may do is that it may slow the capital flight out of Nigeria in the interim. It may also give those businesses that are planning to leave in the next 1 or 2 years to reevaluate their statistics and their figures and see whether they can stay. Because what we currently have is a migration of capital out of this country because of the gloomy outlook of the economy. But this budget is looking at trying to see if they can restore some basic confidence on the economy and store the outflow of capital funds out of this country, and maybe allow more inflows. Personally, I am not very optimistic about what is going to happen in the next 2-3 years in this country, because of the fact that the economy is still struggling. Inflation is still very high. Unemployment is still very high. Power sector, there's no much investment in that sector. In respect to power generation, we expect that we should be able to generate at least 20,000 megawatts by this time, but we are still struggling between 6,000 to 10,000 megawatts. So there's no, like I told you, there's no major innovation in the budget per se, except just minor palliative improvements in the budget, which may not be big enough to redirect the investment flow into this country. So let's see how it goes. I also strongly do not think we should throw away the federal government's positive outlook. We must also look at the fact that Nigeria is owing a lot, at least 70 to 80 trillion. And at the moment, Nigeria is not in a good revenue position. Although just recently it was announced that the non-oil revenue has been growing at least about 60 to 70% year on year. So we expect that in the next 2-3 years, our non-oil revenue will grow more, maybe to 200 to 300%. That is when we begin to have positives from the budget. At the moment, we're just trying to weather the storm and try to see whether we can balance things in the interim to forestall the failure of macroeconomic fundamentals of this country. So the budget is just simply a maintenance budget. It is not innovative. It's not going to create major swings in the economy. It's just going to ensure that there's some balance and there's some organization within the fiscal expenditure framework.
All right, let's look at the inflation rate. You know, one of the indices that will influence how the economy will turn out.
My name is Olatunji Shotimiri. I'm a performing artist and, television radio presenter and a university lecturer, Unilag. Keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Kenny Black, Africa's finest music comedian, and you're watching Souq News. If you're not watching Souq News, I pity you, but keep watching Souq News.
Hello everyone, my name is Timmy Dakolo and you're watching Souq News. Stay tuned.
Hi, my name is Wisdom Oluwaseun Okoko, co-founder Orbit Africa Properties. I'm live at Souq News. Guys, keep watching Souq News. For everything that concerns business, economy, politics, news, Souq News is your station.